to be here.
Do you want to do standard? How do you feel? Because I will pass it off to you, and then you're unless you want to trade off, I'm going to let you just kind of play the whole time.
No, let's do standard then.
Standard, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if
unless you want to see the same 30 minutes for over 4 hours, then we can go hardcore.
Fair enough.
Who was hard at work. But the forest greeted them with a dark
sound is good.
Silence. The bushes empty.
I have a kind of little logo thing put up there. I don't know if I had that established, but rated M for immaturity is what I decided to call the show. Not the final logo, but
the girl recalled mother's scary
it's a good start.
And her throat became bone
dry. I thought that was one. It gives an accurate reading, I think, of the kind of conversations you're going to do.
Oh, definitely.
Come, child, quench your thirst, he said. So she
is this a foresight on the vampire?
Yes, kind of, and more.
And more.
Okay. And more.
And with a click of his fingers, crafted mist.
I think the trailers for this game, honestly, only really showed footage from the first fourth. Like, for the most part. Like,
it was so conspicuous, too, though.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea that there was, like, werewolves or vampires in the game. Like, I thought Lady Dimitrescu was just a giant
Yeah. I mean, it's it is that thing, right, where it's Resident Evil, right? Like, just like the Bakers. It's like there's something, you know, there's always like some source of it, right? And it's not traditionally supernatural, right? Just like how 7 was like, it could have been supernatural, but like it was still very Resident Evil, right? At the end of the day.
Very true.
The horse grew angry,
and I think it's cool because it's almost like it's like getting close to like science fantasy category, I think, right at this point. But like it is doing that kind of like depicting supernatural, like classic supernatural material through the lens of like sci-fi in a way, which I think is kind of cool.
Gifts we gave, but more you took, she snarled. So more in turn is due. In a blink, the girl was trapped inside a mirror.
Would you read that to a baby?
She's asleep.
No, not at all. That's
with the creepy story. She's only 6 months old.
Yeah.
The woman at the store said it was traditional.
True.
A local tale.
I mean, they are in Eastern Europe. I could believe that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Thank God. We moved here so that she wouldn't have to deal with any of that, remember?
There's nothing wrong with my memory. You're just being paranoid.
It's not.
I'd appreciate if you'd stop gaslighting me. I had a fucking saw through my hand.
And she did it, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know if you beat the Resident Evil 7 in under 3 hours, you unlock a handheld buzzsaw to use as a melee weapon?
No fucking way. Oh.
Oh, we've each got our heads plugged into one.
Your mother doesn't want to remember. I can't blame her.
I mean, now should I stop and try and read everything, or do you not? Do we, because we did that last time? Do we want to just kind of go through it?
Yeah, let's just go through it.
Okay, cool.
There. It's like I said to your mom. That book's too scary for you.
What is again, just the graphic, the photorealism that we're approaching.
Yeah, but it's a weird photorealism right here, in my opinion.
It's not it's not all the way there yet.
It's like Twilight photorealism. Do you know what I'm talking about? Now I'm gonna really fucking either show my age or show the kind of show the kind of girl that I was into back in the 7th grade.
The Twilight
But
movies?
yeah, the Twilight movies. Like so I'm specifically referencing to
CG
the last
face.
two.
Yeah, no, I do know about that.
Yeah,
I do know
the
about
fucking
that.
baby. Yeah, no, that's fucking weird. Like they CG'd a face of a baby onto an actual baby.
Yeah, that was. Not only was it not a good looking effect, it was also bizarrely unnecessary, too.
Oh, extremely unnecessary.
There was no reason.
Like I'm pretty sure at some point too, the face itself was not at all like like
Sleeping.
what am I trying to think of? What's the word I'm trying to think of? It's like
Just like even a little bit realistic. Or...
no, it wasn't like well, yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't really realistic just because of how CG it looked in general. Like the lighting was completely off between the baby and the rest of the scene. But also like Uncanny Valley baby. Exactly. Yes, you were right, BFG. It's completely Uncanny Valley baby.
Hey, listeners, how's it going?
Finding you in Louisiana. Pregnancy.
It's like the face would be ever so slightly not centered. Like it just became exactly. It was just like ever so slightly uncomfortable, which just made it more uncomfortable.
Why did they think they couldn't just have the baby's face that they already
Because
had?
they,
I don't understand that.
I think they wanted. Oh my god.
Mia, get down. Mia.
Dang, 50 Cent got nothing on her.
But no, I do. That was a.
Sucked and was fucking it in.
That's good.
Sorry.
I appreciate how they have like actually aged
Jesus Christ.
some
Unload
of
the
the
entire clip.
old characters in real time though. Right? Like Chris was what, 25, 27 in like 1996?
Very true.
So he looks his fucking age. Right?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely, what's it called?
All clear.
Not chronological, when it makes sense to the overall story, it follows...
A linear path?
No, I mean, yes, but also, like, it... Oh, God, what's the word I'm trying to think of? It is canon, it's... God, it's gonna drive me crazy. Yes, continuity.
Continuity. Yeah, that the continuity is really good between games.
Exactly.
Like, that they actually age them properly and stuff.
There we go.
No, that's super true.
See, any word that's above 3 syllables just scares me, and so I get anxiety.
Oh, you're okay. You're okay.
No, that's joke, Sage. That's not actually true, but I appreciate you actually trying to have empathy for me right there.
We'll be there. That was the doc. She'll see us next week. Hey now.
This is way too nice of a house to be in Eastern Europe.
I know.
Well, they have been relocated after the events of the first game by like a very wealthy, right? Like.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Look, she's gonna be fine.
So they've like this is all like paid for by
We
some
matter.
pretty powerful people.
You matter. You just
Stalin Summer Home
Something or not?
used to be.
Come on, talk to me.
Tyler, have you seen the Death of Stalin, the movie?
I've not.
Take this.
That is, it's a comedy.
Yeah, I
It's a
did
dark
hear it's like a dark
right?
comedy. That's really good.
It's pretty funny, and it's also very accurate. they
Yeah, I heard like Stalin's funeral in general was just a nightmare.
Oh yeah. Like the battle for power between all the people who could have potentially succeeded him are like ooh. Let's just say Khrushchev was the smartest of them, I think, or at least maybe the slimiest.
She was dead.
Yeah, I mean that was good.
Fair point.
Then Rose.
Also, like if this is where Chris is and what he's doing now, what's up with Leon? Well, I want to know what's going on because like 7 felt really standalone right up until like a little bit at the end.
Really?
But this one, right? Chris Redfield was in the first 5 minutes of the game, right? Like they have tied this 7's very separate storyline. This is immediately tying.
I keep
seven
forgetting that
characters.
this is 8 and not 7.
Oh yeah, because 7 was the swamp
biohazard.
house.
Yeah.
Did you know that in Japan?
It's biohazard, and in the States it's Resident Evil.
Well, in that Resident Evil 7.
In Japan is Resident Evil and not Biohazard.
Well, it's
Biohazard Resident Evil.
Yeah, it's Biohazard subtitle Resident Evil, and here it's Resident Evil subtitle Biohazard. So 7, both countries used the opposite country's name for the series as the subtitle.
It's a pretty
for
neat
the same
fact.
game. It was, the title actually. I mean, it did fit the original pretty well, right? Resident Evil. It's a single person's home being a mansion, right? And 7 is the only other game where literally the resident of a very specific building is evil.
I don't mean to interrupt, but can we just agree that this character is literally the most accident-prone out of any out of any protagonist in the Resident Evil series, besides maybe
Leon
the President's daughter in number 4?
Right. Well, she was just annoying. That's one thing. If they're remaking that game, which from what we know that they are doing a 4 remake, if there's one thing I do want changed, make Ashley less irritating.
Yeah, hands down.
She could be seriously make her like Elizabeth in Bioshock Infinite, where she will find shit for you.
Could you make her just a little bit less of a dumb bitch?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Leon!
And just like that, we lost all of our subscribers.
If you've played that game, I don't think there's anybody that would disagree.
Me and
Maddie played that, and she was yelling, "You dumb little bitch!" at the TV during parts of that game. So I think everyone could be down with that. Ashley sucked, and if they're gonna update that game, that's the number one thing.
Oh yeah,
that needs to be different. I mean, I think 4 is a really solid game, but she is the one thing that does drag the experience down just that little bit sometimes.
Very true.
I think that game. I think that's a near perfect video game for the most part. Almost to the point that for a long time I was on the why would you even remake that one thought process, but I don't know. Because I played it within the last year. I'd say last year for sure. And after playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, I see all the spots where 4 has aged, though. Right? As good as it is, it's aged a little.
I mean, yeah, but it's also Resident Evil 4 originally came out when?
Oh, that game is so ahead of its time. It's 2005, I believe.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Anything that 16 years old is going to show at least some age.
Totally. But if they put the care that it looks like they're putting into the Dead Space remake that they did in the 2 remake, if they do that same thing with 4, I mean, I think games are getting to the point now where I don't think they're going to age as much anymore. I think some of these things are going to hold up a lot better for a lot longer now.
Now, do you think that's because we've kind of reached our we're kind of plateauing in the video game world? Do you think?
I think on the previous gen or kind of still current gen consoles, maybe a little bit specifically on those systems, but I think these new systems are going to allow for some absolutely insane creativity to come forward, because the PS5 and the Xbox Series X have made a technological leap that literally has leaped over game constraints that have existed since Pong, since the first like video game, right? And that's that all game, not all, but like a lot, so much of game design has kind of revolved around how you hide loading screens. I can't put this in the game because I can't hide it behind a loading screen. We have to separate these areas and have an elevator sequence or a train or something to, you know, break up the game to just be able to make sure that it works, right? And these new systems are capable of just rendering the whole game basically all at once. Like the draw distance in open world games on the new systems is pretty amazing. Like the Miles Morales for the PS5, you can see to the edge of it. Like if you can see realistically to basically just as far as your eyesight would be able to show you in real life. Like the draw distances are incredible.
And so after like we've talked about like the next thing that are like the like where video games might go. Yeah, soon it's gonna look better than real life, and you'll never want to look away. Exactly, but like, besides the visual, like where can video games go after that? Can they go anywhere, or like once you've achieved that, what is the point? Like what is the next step?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know where you take it technologically. I think VR is probably going to evolve and become a bigger and bigger part of like even more like basic gaming. I think someday VR headsets will almost be like a gimme. They'll come with the console eventually. I really do think that. And I think it's interesting because I think that there's so much material that yeah, I mean that's probably, yes, I do think that we're headed for that awful of a cyberpunk dystopia where the machine is just in your head. I do think that's going to happen. But I think I think there is going to be like a few years before they truly are even they fully even understand what just these newest systems are truly capable of, because the thought process of game design has revolved around this loading screen thing, right? And how much you can fit in a game because it can't handle it, right? Like there's so many ideas have been left on the cutting room floor because of that. And they can just completely overstep that issue now. And like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, right? The if you've seen some of the game footage, you've seen how they like hop through the portals, and it's literally painful.
Jesus fuck! Sorry.
No, you're fine. He's a hungry boy. He's a real hungry guy.
Oh my god! I don't like how uneven that bite is. It looks just so raw, real.
It's getting close. It's getting the next Mortal Kombat, right? Like in like another like 5 or 6 years.
Bite him back. Yeah, man. That's how you turn him back into human, right?
Yeah, you just bite him back.
You're missing half of your fucking hand while you're putting your hand up.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the most fucked up, but he puts on a brave face.
Yeah, I mean, how many fucking hands can he go through? They don't just grow on trees, you know?
That's very good. It's a very good question. He got the same one.
He's getting a little too reckless with his appendages.
in the last game, yeah, they chopped it. Did you ever get the like? There was like a second like kind of cutscene that would like not cutscene. It was running in the active gameplay. But when you escape from Jack in that hallway the very first time, right at the beginning of Resident Evil 7, and if he actually catches you in that moment, there's a special animation that it really randomly only works or like activates like some of the time, where Jack will knock Ethan down to the ground and like cut his leg off with the shovel.
What the fuck?
And then he'll put a he'll like walk away from you though, and he will put he'll put your foot and a bottle of like the health juice right on the ground next to each other, and he'll let you crawl over to like get it, and like he literally just puts his foot up against the stump and pours the health potion on it, and it like reattaches, right?
What?
Because just like with the hand, they just stapled it back on, and he just kept pouring like the heal juice on himself, right? Like it's the one unrealistic part. Like for the most part, they did a good job of being relatively realistic, but like that's the one thing that was like over the top. Yeah, Ethan should just get a chainsaw hand. I would fucking play that.
Surrounded. Damn it.
Alright. Come on, I know one of you is gonna come in here. Oh.
Oh god, it was a part of that, it was a part of...
Death Proof, right?
Wasn't Edgar Wright behind that?
No, that was,
Or was that Tarantino?
It was Tarantino, it was two movies, they were like relatively short ones.
Wasn't Machete also a part of that?
It's part of the genre, but it wasn't part of that exact project. But it is, one was directed by Tarantino, and it was a bunch of, there was like a really cool car in it, and like a bunch of gangsters, and then Robert Rodriguez directed the other. It was a Grindhouse double feature. Planet Terror was one of them. And it was like a Grindhouse double feature. Tarantino directed one, and what's his name? Something Rodriguez. Something. Well, fuck.
No, it was called Planet Terror.
Yeah, that was one of the two, and then Death Proof I think was the other one.
Yeah.
Tarantino did one, and Robert Rodriguez directed the other. Robert Rodriguez did also direct Machete too, right? So that is.
Oh, that makes sense.
Tyler, do you know where we first saw Machete?
In Spy Kids?
Yeah. How fucking weird is that?
Oh, it's amazing. That means Machete is also a part of the Spy Kids universe and vice versa.
It's just, I don't think most people know that. So when I bring it up, they don't believe me.
Oh yeah, no, I've said that multiple times too, and people like...
They're like, sure it is.
Yeah, it's like, no, they wouldn't put that in a rated G movie. It's like,
and they put it, he was in Spy Kids first.
Exactly.
Which is like... So if anything, a spin-off of the children's film
is rated R.
That's such a weird chain of events that must have led to that being a creative decision. Now, I actually don't know if I could turn the infinite ammo off or not.
Fair. I mean, I don't mind either way.
Oh, shit. Hey, shotgun. Ah!
Ow!
Get out of here.
There's no end to them.
You do lose some. Although there's one part, and you know what I'm talking about, Ulysses, that is definitely going to feel the same, regardless of this. Although not the entire thing for sure. Oop. Wow, that was a terrible shot.
Yeah, man, you're gonna get got.
Or you dodge. They'll do that thing where they kind of like, they like hang from side to side or like kind of sway a little bit, like as a dodge, just like the villagers in 4 did. And you know what? Just like how they did Resident Evil 2 and 3 back-to-back as remakes, and this was true of the original games too, because they could use so many of the assets they built for 2 to make 3. I feel like it was super easy to go back and just do 3 real quick with shit from 2. I'm willing to bet... Oh shit. Do I have a... Yes, I do. Let's see what that is.
What the fuck?
Let's try and get out of the way of that if we can.
Santa! Ow!
This is how he comes with the naughty children.
Even naughty.
Come on. That guy is almost like the she had reindeer.
No reindeer, but lots of little helpers.
This is almost like the way the chainsaw dude comes out in 4, right?
Oh,
with
yeah.
that one really tough enemy that's chasing you around along with the rest. Let's see. I mean, I'll watch this. Whatever movie you're writing, I'm in.
Yeah, no, I'll help fund it. Oh. Ow. What the fuck? What? Oh, this is supposed to happen, okay.
Yeah, this is cutscene now. Here's an interesting thing that I don't know if you know about the recent Resident Evil games. But they sat down and after 6 was a disaster, right? When they sat down to kind of look at what they do next, and they came up with 7, right? They came up with 7, 8, and 9 all at once.
Oh wow.
Kind of had a longer form story that they wanted to tell over 3 games, and also decided that 7, 8, and 9, so 9 will be the final numbered main Resident Evil game. Period. Like it's essentially ending the franchise, like as we see it so far. They've already said like they're not gonna make anything, but like they'll do side stories, spin-off, like things that are a little more experimental or like that feel like spin-offs more than like a main series thing. But like we are something that came out literally the year I was, or the year after I was born, after 26
You gotta do
years.
more with the uncle from the last game's DLC.
Did you play that ever?
No, I did not.
Oh my god, dude. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. So the expansion, right, is that Uncle Joe Baker, who like lives way off, like not quite like way off in the distance in the swamps, right? Only just now notices something bad is happening, like kind of the same night. And he He shows up and he starts fucking boxing all of the monsters. Like,
What?
yeah, you don't even have guns, or like I think you have a shotgun and you get a couple shots here and there. But it is straight up supposed to be a like a boxing like thing almost. Like he's taking these things out with his fists relatively easily.
The child's father.
Gator spearing is
Oh yeah,
normal.
the gators you can't fist fight. You have to like spear them with like these fucking. It's so weird. And then you get a fucking Iron Man gauntlet, which makes your like punches even more like crazy. Like you start punching your way through metal doors with it. And, like,
Hell yeah.
it's ridiculous. It's Resident Evil really knowing how to just be weird and have fun. I would take a whole game just based on that with like DLC.
Wait, where's Rose? Who's Mother Miranda?
The bell tolls for us all. They're coming again.
You could stop her from. I know she is not tough looking. You could stop her from locking that door. Like you chose not to. Oh, no, that's good. Witches are nice. I mean, in real life, I've never met like an evil witch, but like in this world, no, not in this universe, no. Especially like because Resident Evil 7, as much as it felt like a little bit of a reboot, like it really was. It really was. You know, still a continuation of the same world, and so like just having been like a person that lived in this universe, right, for all these years, you wouldn't trust. You've read the news at least once before when one of these crazy things happens. I mean, especially if we are still counting 6, right?
Yeah.
A giant Godzilla fly attacked.
Horton.
Hey Horton, here's a what? How's it going?
Here's a what?
How are you doing? There's another streamer. It's pretty cool.
Taking bite out of crime and out of my neck.
Come on, do I have a... Nope, I need to make one. Oh shit. Alright, well. Ah.
Well, that's neat that you can skip the animation like that.
That normally doesn't. The crunchy sound of your face being eaten up. Well, you're the one that brings up eating people on every stream, so I'm not surprised that
Biting into
like,
a Kit Kat.
catching your attention.
Close the door.
Biting into a Kit Kat crunch. Have you played this yourself, Horton? Here's what. This one's pretty awesome. It might be my favorite game this year still so far.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know. It's up there at least.
I'm just glad to see normal people at last.
Nice,
Have
nice.
you seen any other survivors?
I have played it a couple of times. My co-host is seeing it mostly for the first time.
When the gate is locked.
Quiet girl. He's an outsider.
Thank you for the raid. Oh, I didn't actually see that message. Nice. Thank you so much. That's
Can
awesome.
your old man walk?
No. One of the monsters cut him. He's lost a lot of
You
blood.
know,
We have
if one
to
of the
get him
monsters cut
released.
him, I'm like,
Be away inside.
I would immediately be suspicious of him.
Quiet.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Right.
move until I get those gates open.
Random man with different accent, clearly not from same town, comes barging into house.
Like, a lot of 4 energy. Yeah, no, it's totally. It's like Resident Evil 7 and 4 were just kind of mashed together. If you're, I am American, do what I say. That's kind of the that's the energy of a lot of video games.
That's yep.
Isn't that
Really bad could happen, as could happen.
Clear.
that's literally that literally should be the like that should be the name of Call of Duty instead of Call of Duty for some of those games. And the like almost like military, like,
used to relying
pro-
on
like some of the older Modern Warfare, like the original Modern Warfare, I thought like some of those old original Call of Duty games did do interesting stories about war, but I feel like they've devolved so much into just like
What's going on around here?
Nonsense?
It doesn't
Yes.
make any sense.
like pew, American shoot the mega.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, just super
Maybe
American
not that
propaganda.
obnoxious, but like it's like the kind of stuff that I feel like Doctor Strangelove was parodying at the time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Just hold on a bit longer.
Also, like, how many more fucking times are you gonna go back to World War II?
They're doing it again come October.
Open up, it's
Oh my
me,
god,
Elena!
another one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh Jesus Christ! Treyarch ones, World at War.
Shouting. You'll draw the monsters.
These Modern Warfare one had fun contrast between them. Well, like, which one was it where you... Wasn't there one of the older Call of Duties where you actually like had a sequence where you played as like the Russians on the Eastern Front fighting the Nazis? And it was like, that was a really interesting, like...
Yeah, that was part of either World at War or yeah, I think that was World at War.
Was that World at War? Okay.
Yep.
That's cool. That's a genuinely really cool thing, I think, to throw in a war game.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that's what Vanguard is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more. It's gonna be more of the like sort of like.
Oh, that's the new one?
Yeah, the
It's
new.
gonna be more of Russia?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Oh.
more Russia, more Pacific, more of the Pacific Warfront. But there's all like it's gonna cover pretty much all of like World War II comparatively to past games where it only focused on one part, either
Okay.
the Western or Eastern Front. It's gonna include both the Western and Eastern Front, including the fight in the Mediterranean and Africa. So it's gonna
Okay.
be sort of like what Battlefield 1 was, or not Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5 was, in the sense of like.
That makes it sound more interesting to me.
Oh yeah, no,
But they're
it's gonna
do
incorporate
other parts.
multiple protagonists rather than just one as well.
I could actually see the potential in that then.
My favorite ones in COD for sure. Seeing King Tigers. That's what of that opening mission was Anno.
Come inside, the others are waiting.
Oh, it did cut off a little bit, or whatever that opening mission was annoyed me as a history dude.
Fair, I could see that. But
He helped Leonardo and
Panzers, Tigers. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Ulysses?
I mean, it's just that you know that they can, that they can do better.
That is true. That is very true.
Left? There is no one left. A
Although,
worthless,
with the hot shit that
really bitch.
that Activision, like Blizzard,
Bloody man
right,
and
is in
outsiders.
right now.
Nothing.
How well is that next Call of Duty game gonna do, do
There
you
is
think?
no safe.
There's
Well,
more of a backlash in this case than there was with like Ubisoft, where like it kind of just got waved over a little bit. Like, do you think they will get in real trouble, or like
no, I don't think they
people will
will.
like
Just
not,
like
I
a
don't
damn
know,
husband. Put a sock
finally
in it
like not buy something to like teach a company a lesson?
The problem with
my family for generations.
decision making in
Or not. You are all welcome.
in most games, Horton, is the fact that there's only ever really 2 to 3 different decisions you can make, which is the like
One day we were
Vanguard
right,
option,
devout,
Renegade
and the
option,
next,
or the neutral
the
option
monsters
if you want to go the whole like Mass Effect route. Like, there's only ever a good option, a bad option,
Green
or an
explosion,
option
red
that
explosion,
doesn't
blue
piss off.
explosion.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't piss anyone off.
He's out.
And like, I mean, it's funny that you say that because it's Horton, because it's like we were actually gonna play Detroit Becoming Human originally.
Yeah.
And so like from like going from such a, I would say, more advanced choice option comparatively to Mass Effect, where like your choices really didn't matter. It'll be kind of interesting on what Call of Duty will do.
As the
I still think Knights of the Old Republic has some of the best, because the endings of that game are wildly different.
Oh yeah.
On what you do. It's still not more than like 2 different options, but like the ending is synthesis ending. I wish that they would have just gone with the indoctrination fan theory, honestly, after a little while. That was such a... It didn't ruin Mass Effect for me, but that ending did leave a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I didn't really go back and return to the games until... And I played them when they first came out, but I didn't come back to Mass Effect until maybe just this year, when they did the remaster. Because Nadia hadn't played it ever. So I was like, you know what, I'll watch you play it, and I'll engage with it again. It's been a long time.
Holy shit!
I mean, if it would let me, I would be stabbing.
Oh my god.
Oh, there's that entire house of survivors. Whoop. To blend in by also murdering people.
Lena?
I said no!
Yeah. Like, I appreciate the effort to experiment, right, I suppose, but like, how significant will they actually, like, get into it?
Well, I'm not super surprised that COD's gonna do it. I mean, that's kind of what started to happen during Cold War.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a super sucker for the campaigns of Call of Duty, like, no matter what it is. Like, I just love shooting galleries, I'm not gonna lie. But like, I'm not super surprised that Call of Duty is gonna add in what you could even say is like the building blocks of a karma system. Now, do I think they're gonna like progress with it and like add more to it? No, not at all. But I mean, fair. Like, the campaign for 3 was a little too silly, but I feel like you should give Cold War a shot, especially if you enjoyed the original Black Ops as well.
Is it like kind of more like the first one?
Oh, it's a lot more like the first one,
Okay.
Because it's...
That's a total video game hole for me, is the entire Call of Duty franchise. I was just never into military shooters, kind of in general. Like, I like Wolfenstein, right, when they branch out and do something real weird with the sci-fi of it.
Yeah.
But and not to say like, oh, they're bad games because I don't like them. No, they're just not for me. But so that is one. It is one of my kind of holes that I've never really filled that in.
I will say that World War II was pretty much the best campaign.
Oh, okay. Does everyone know what BFG over 9000 is talking about with the VR Medal of Honor game?
Yeah, how terrible it was.
Yeah. With like they like got these like actual veterans to tell them real war stories, and then they animated them like garbage, and like I mean, if I would have been pissed if I was one of those people that like gave them this like very personal like story about like what was this like a horrible experience, right?
Oh yeah.
And then they just like
butcher it completely.
Yeah, they just butcher it and make it look ridiculous. And I'd be angry if I was any of those people.
There, that's our way out.
Thank God. But what then? The village is still full of monsters. We can't fight them. There's too many.
Hey, don't talk like that. We'll find a safe house to put you in until I can find my daughter. My hunch is she's in that old castle.
No. That place is full of nothing but
Scooby-Doo
blood
told
and
me.
death. And I don't want to be alone while you're...
Wolfenstein New Order and Class. They're great games. Those are great games. I really like those a lot. I'm really looking forward to the third one whenever it comes out. I believe it's supposed to wrap up with the third one too. Like it's supposed to cap off whatever story they have going.
No, leave the dumb bitch.
Which what's amazing is Doom Eternal capped off this Doom rebooted franchise. Like that, they're not, like, as far as we know, they're not doing a third one.
Ethan,
Like they like, that's done.
Oh yeah.
2 games, a couple expansions, and they're like done.
Reach for me!
Which I'm thinking, Quake single player, like a new Quake game. It's like, God, when was the last time one of those even came out?
Yeah.
A single player Quake game. There was a multiplayer one recently, right? The last couple of years, but that's been like actually decently popular. I always say though, I am looking for Heretic to make a comeback. Do you know that one?
I do not know.
Heretic was kind of like a Doom, Wolfenstein, Quake, right? That kind of shooter, right? Around that same time. Mm-hmm. Except it was dark fantasy. And it was a first-person shooter, but it was all spells.
Shit!
Oh yeah, you've told me about this one. Yeah.
Right, dark fantasy, all spells.
They have just released the original Quake game.
They did. They did. They brought the original Quake back, and they did like a remaster kind of it. And they even like made a new expansion for that old game, like for this re-release, which is really cool. And yeah, Heretic lets you turn enemies into chickens. Yep. And that Quake release was on all platforms. Oh, it was buggy as shit on the PC though. I did see that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was weird because you'd think a game that
yeah,
old.
that's super ironic.
Like that seems like it would have been simple to do. But an enemy
Turn into candles. Holy shit.
Didn't like if you ran too fast, didn't like the camera lag behind you and you could like look at your own ass?
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Game that lets you turn people into chickens is always a win. yeah. You know in Zelda, right? If you attack the chicken too many times, and then,
yeah,
like, the
it attacks you.
Horde.
Yeah.
They made that an item in the most recent Smash game too.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or maybe that's been around longer than just
yeah,
the
it has.
Turns your character's body into a zombie.
Fucked up old hag. Hey, the way that she shakes her walking stick, it looks like the skull's laughing with it.
It does. Alright. We're just gonna go up the hill here and into this next room, and then I'm gonna pass the controller off to you. And we are just about where we left off. Oh, oops. That's the demon one. It's a good time to be a horror fan for video games, though. Like,
oh, definitely.
The fact that we're playing this, though, this was such a recent, like, Resident Evil has had an amazing revival. Alan Wake is coming back. Dead Space is coming back. If Konami would get their head out of their ass, we could have a nice Silent Hill experience. But
very true.
So yeah, I had an amazing multiplayer match once where I turned everyone on the server into chickens.
Ulysses, you can't just tag yourself in your comment. That's like high-fiving yourself.
Did he? Alright, this is the room here. It was literally pulling that. Alright, literally pulling this, so we're gonna switch the headsets. And now we are caught up to where this should be completely fresh to you.
Didn't think anyone was left. You must be pretty tough. Huh.
It's Nicolas Cage, Van Helsing, Magneto.
You're not local.
This actor actually did base his performance off of Nicolas Cage. He actually said that.
Mother Miranda's gonna love you.
What the fuck?
Nicolas Cage, Helsing Magneto. It's honestly, I feel like, the most accurate description of that character that you'd ever get. But it's great defaults to setting your name. Oh, that's weird. Twitch does have some kind of weird, like, setup in certain places. You'll never see him the same again.
The man is of no real use to anyone else, and my daughters do so love entertaining fools. Furthermore, I can show that you can trust them more.
Yeah, that's
My daughters and I are living
I want to see. He's awake.
Lizzie, shut the fuck up!
Where?
You mean you'll screw around with him in private? Where's the fun in that? Give him to me, and I'll put on a show that everybody can enjoy.
Ugh, so gauche. What do we care for bread and circuses? The man thinks suffering is assured.
Yak, as a man's dick is cut off in the castle, blah, blah.
The puppet.
I've heard all your arguments.
The
Some
puppet.
of you were less
Is it actually a puppet?
Yeah, that puppet, like, it ran all the way back to that lady's lap on its own.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a puppet. I thought it was like. I
It's
thought
like
it
a
was.
really small character.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's like a doll.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Is but a child.
And there's a woman there,
Devotion to
too,
you
but
is
it's like-
questionable.
It's like
Give
with it,
all
but
to me, and I will ensure he is ready.
Shut your damn mouth! And don't be a sore loser! Go find your food somewhere else.
Quiet now, child. Adults are talking.
I'm the child. You're the one who's arguing with Miranda's
You
decision.
wouldn't know responsibility if it was welded
Oh,
to
keep glory! One day your head might actually fit your ego!
Don't I get a say in this?
I do kind of
decision is
love
final.
this method of introducing your villains, honestly. Like, even though it's
Remember
like
from
somewhat
whence-
similar to the way at the dinner in 7, I think it's still got enough of its own flavor that it doesn't feel
Lycans
repetitive either.
and gentlemen!
Very true.
We thank
Lycans
you.
and gentlemen is a
Very,
great
like-
line
And now
there.
let the games begin!
Very like evil villain, sort of like Bond. Like James Bond, evil villain introduction.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, no, I can totally see that.
Or like Legion of Doom.
yeah, that's true. That's totally. You feel like, well, I mean, one of them is like
Now
straight
at
up
the Hall
Magneto,
of
so-
Injustice.
You know, I've actually gone back relatively recently to laugh at it and watch some of the old Super Friends cartoons. Darkseid is a fucking incel in that
Really?
cartoon, dude. Oh, dude, Darkseid is just obsessed with Wonder Woman. He gives no shits about literally anything else. And every time that he manages to capture her and he thinks she's gonna marry him, and then when she like runs away, he's like legitimately surprised that she would want to leave. He doesn't give a shit about anything else. It's literally his entire personality.
Why is he so? Oh nope, that's not how you do it. How do you do it?
Oh, yeah, it should be. Should be that way.
There we go.
And
Whoa!
then, click the stick into sprint. And if any controls are... If you're not sure how to do anything. I've played this game like
Oh god, okay,
4
not that
times
way.
already.
I do that. Yep, and then yep.
Very nice!
Santa!
Bonk. Clang. Dude, that might be too much of an inside joke. Did you ever see the really bad, like, all CGI animated Berserk anime they did in, like, 2016, 2017?
Oh, that sounds so familiar, but I did not.
It's garbage animation. It looks terrible.
Is it?
And they use the same sound effect every time he hits anything with the sword, whether that thing is another sword or something soft even. It goes clang! Like he could cut like some leaves and it would literally just be like every time.
My word. You truly are as strong as they say.
A lot of people talking about you.
Oh, you think I can
Oh, I'm gone. I don't know what to do.
Go into the back left corner with a little indent. Or to the right, to the right. Oh, that's okay. Then you're facing the wall, like if you turn around and are facing the wall, on the right corner. Left if you're facing the other direction. I hate that the game does that. Like, I'll fucking change it on my own if I want to. You don't need to tell me that it's like, oh, hey, did you know you could do this? No, fuck off. I will do, if I want to, I will.
I know I can.
Yeah.
Just because I can doesn't mean I will.
I mean, shit, I've been cranking difficulty up on games recently. Now that I've gotten into, it's started with Cuphead. When I finally conquered Cuphead, there was such a sense of satisfaction that I genuinely just started to...
You've been searching for that high ever since.
Souls games do it pretty well. The Lycans or werewolves in this actually put up quite a fight if you're playing on hard difficulty. Like they're actually pretty. They can be tough to deal with. But Dark Souls though, that's definitely scratched that itch a lot. Returnal was harder than Dark Souls, I thought.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just because, like, in Dark Souls, if you get truly stuck...
Little bitch, would you like to play itself?
Seriously, I hate when games do that. Just let me... Or like, similarly, do you remember in Metal Gear Solid 4, the game would, every loading screen would be like, how long has it been since you went outside? Like, fucking... Give me the game, Kojima. Just let me play the game and stop trying to patronize me. So I feel like if you're really thinking about like Nicolas Cage when you listen to this guy.
No, he definitely does. Right? Like now that you said that, I can't unhear it.
There's a couple smushed boxes, and I think one on the other side. Nice. So your weapons just have infinite ammo. Once you start to get more, you'll have to like tag them to the D-pad yourself, but... Oh, you just needed both of them, yeah.
There we go.
So when I talk about the similarities to 4, though, like, especially that, right, introducing all these kind of, like yes, horror, but they have such big, extravagant personalities, right, to all these characters. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, in 7, they were over the top for sure at times, and extravagant, and it definitely had that feel to it in 7. But they did feel relatively grounded, right? Like for the most part, like, yes, when they started mutating into things, no. But... like then the horror really kicked in, but like when they looked like relatively like normal people walking around,
yeah,
like that was, I think that was part of what made Resident Evil 7, and maybe it always will be, but I think that's the most, I think that is by far the scariest like actual game in the franchise.
I could see that. No,
and it didn't even really get me like that. I mean, I'm too desensitized for anything too, but the sense of just these like what seems so much like regular people at first being as crazy as they are, I think is more horror, or like more just like straight full on horror to me than like most other games in the series. I mean, people have such fond memories of the very original. I think if you go back to it now, I mean, obviously because of the age, it's a lot goofier. You can make that first one pretty damn scary in a remake, though. I think. I guess it'd be a second remake.
Sorry that I did start moving again. I've been petting this cat.
Cat. It is a cutscene. You can take a break for cat pets.
What the? Is this that
Anyone who is anyone.
British actor who's been in that, God, he was in Little Britain. He was a bald guy. He's egg-shaped. I'm not gonna lie about that. He is.
You know, honestly, I don't know who the voice actor for this character is.
I am but a humble merchant. Here,
There's another way that this game is like 4.
call me the Duke. Now to business.
Matt Lucas?
Weapons, ammunition, healing
Possibly?
salves,
Most
anything
likely?
you desire, I can provide.
Yeah, I know some of the voice actors in this.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, Matt
That
Lucas.
is
You're
him?
right.
Okay, cool. Damn, you dead on caught that.
A gift has arrived for you, good sir.
Ankles. So
Yeah, Matt Lucas.
So you should first go to the Duke's Purse. So that's where you can sell stuff. You can sell all the ammo that you collect because you have infinite ammo.
Yeah.
So you can literally just sell that you'll get a lot of extra money too doing that. The crystal skulls are good. Those are just that's the actual gun itself. But you'll want to go in, sell that stuff and then go into the purchasing part because and then you can do the upgrades too. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. If you just go in and out of the store, he'll say it, I think, relatively soon.
This simple modification can be done in just a moment. What are you buying?
So,
Just something an old friend of mine.
he totally said it.
What are you buying?
What are you buying?
What are you selling?
Just something an old friend of mine used to say. You cannot sell. Oh, so it's like the Tetris briefcase. So you have to find the right amount of room for it. I think square is what lifts it up and down. Yeah, and then you should be good. I definitely would say I found the bigger briefcases to be kind of maybe the most worthwhile purchases in the game. Now, go down in the store a little bit, and do you see that down one left? That's a lightsaber
What?
to have as your melee weapon.
Well, that's obviously happening.
That's that's this super secret bonus weapon you can get in the game. Horton, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I cheated. I tried to play all of the mercenaries mode and get I tried, I really did. But I bought the unlock thing for it because that mercenaries mode I think was just too much for me to.
You have three options. Sell things off, throw them away, or buy a bigger bag.
Yeah, so I bought the unlock everything thing because I got everything else on my own, but that mercenary. Tyler, did you play the old mercenaries mode in 4 or any of those the time attack thing? It's just kill
no,
as
I did
many.
not.
It was. I like it in the older games. I do think it's fun.
Till next we meet.
Yeah, but so in the old mercenaries mode, it was basically
What?
and then hold L2, and then there you go.
Ooh.
And then there you go. A double-bladed lightsaber, and then I want to say it's pressing. It's holding it down on. Jesus Christ.
I am a Jedi Master.
I'm trying to remember how, but you can also change its color. And red does like super high damage. Green leeches enemy health and gives it like fills your own health with it. And then blue. I don't remember what blue does. Let's see. Oh, okay, so if you like hold like the aim button and then press X, I think that's what changes the colors. And I think there's only yeah, there you go. What does the blue do? Okay. So yeah, red is your damage, green is like health steal, and then
Your cat's distracting me so much.
I know, she's adorable.
She's just like laying there and she's like, I know you want to pet me. Taste the rainbow.
Okay, but what is the blue do? Oh, blue lightsaber allows you to parry if you guard. You like time your guard, like really well.
Ooh.
So you can straight up fucking parry like melee attacks from some of like the Lycans and stuff.
Right on.
That's pretty fucking badass. Mask the angel's blinded gaze, and only then will you be saved. One of these, I don't remember which one, but one of these shares a voice actor with Jill from the Figures remake game.
Oh.
Man blood.
Oh. Oh. That doesn't feel good. That's not okay. I'm not having fun.
Taste the rainbow. Yeah, taste the rainbow, motherfucker.
Mother, I bring you fresh prey.
You are so kind to me, daughters.
So this is just the first area, really, of the game.
Let's take a look at it.
Right. And this is basically what all of the
Well,
trailers were.
Ethan Winters, you escaped my little brother's idiot games, did you? Let's see how special you are.
Yes, Mother.
Ow!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright.
I'm super fascinated to see what they do with 9.
Let's devour his man flesh quickly, Mother.
Because
I am the one who
7 and
captured
8
him.
Now, daughters.
are so
First, I
so
must inform the
tonally
rabbi.
different.
Later, well, there will be enough
How so?
for
Well,
everyone.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre versus Dracula, right? Like, yes, they're both horror, but like we went from down in the swamp redneck family to like
Careful what you wish
gothic castles and like classical literature monsters. You know? So like it's still horror, but like the view is worth it. There are actually more polygons in Lady Dimitrescu's ass than there were in all of Resident Evil 1.
Oh my god.
I don't actually think that's true, but it was funny when I met it. I mean, as soon as they revealed this character, the internet collectively just like went.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna be hanging around here. Oh god.
Tyler, have you ever played Outlast?
Not all of it.
Okay. That's a fun horror game. I feel like for sure.
No, oh god.
Yeah, he's Yeah, his hands, man. I think they're the biggest victim of this
Am
game.
I just gonna throw my hands in the fire?
Nope,
Nope, never mind.
You got
I got
healing
the
juice.
green stuff.
The D stands for
Drug
dump truck ass. I know, it's like she might as well be a Pixar mom, right? Like, somebody, or they were trying to compete with Pixar. Like Capcom's picking a fight with Pixar. It's like we can have a bigger ass than you. The engine that this game runs on, and 7 ran on it too, and the 2 and 3 remakes, all right, they've all shared the same engine. It's called the RE engine, right? It's that logo from before every game. You know, did you know that doesn't actually stand for that doesn't actually stand for the Resident Evil engine? That stands for the Reach for the Moon engine.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why that's what they named it. I don't know. I'm really not sure. But that is basically Capcom's like engine. This is a really good fucking looking engine.
All right, I'm lost already.
Wait, go back into that room, and then look to your. Oh, actually, you know what? No, not to the right. It's straight ahead. Go to the fireplace and crouch.
There we go.
I've like got this game like pretty freshly memorized, to be honest, because I was trying to see. There's a trophy for beating it in under 3 hours, and I got like 3 hours and maybe 25 minutes or so. So I said I need to do it again to actually get the trophy, but I did that like just within the last couple of weeks, so. This is pretty fresh still. And there is going to be, they did announce at E3 this year that there was going to be a story expansion for this.
Really?
Some sort of DLC. Now, here's an interesting thing. If you look at some of the behind-the-scenes content, it's literally just in the game, the concept art, right, that you can look at in the menus. And... in an earlier version, an earlier draft of that's that big scene where we basically just saw all the villains in the game all at once together. There's concept art for a version of that scene that has Ethan escape because Ada Wong in like a plague doctor costume fucking comes down and like causes a bunch of commotion.
What?
And check it out, that room right there. There's another. So this is where your story's gonna be for a little while.
We meet again.
What the fuck?
How does he get around, right?
Yeah.
I think there's all the garlic he's got hanging.
Oh yeah.
The vampires.
And have you found your daughter? No. If she is truly here.
But
the lady
I'm
of the
hoping
castle would
honestly
have
that they
kept
kind
the
of
rose in her
take whatever they
pocket.
wanted to do with Ada Wong and
The very same.
work.
Why don't you
Maybe
take a
build
look?
that DLC around whatever cut out part she was going to
speaking of
have, like
looking,
come up, like do
had to
a
make a
have you play as
purchase.
Ada in the expansion, because that would also
Make a purchase.
that'd be another kind of spiritual successor thing to 4, right? Because 4 had that Separate Ways expansion where you played as Ada, and we still don't know who the fuck Ada's working for.
This is a fair price.
Think about that. We still don't know we still don't know. That frustrates me actually, as like a longtime fan of the franchise. That like I'm like, how have you not made some sort of given any explanation for that, right? Because like right in 2, she is the she says she's like FBI, right, which is a lie. And she steals the sample
Skilled at all sorts
and,
of weapons, motherfucker.
falls to her death. And you find out she worked for like Umbrella, and then in 4, Umbrella's gone at that point, right? and you think she's like, oh, well, then she's working for Wesker, who, now that Umbrella's gone, is like a rogue kind of solo agent unto himself, and that's who she's working for. And then at the end of the 4, she gets in the helicopter and then like sells Wesker out by bringing the Las Plagas sample to a completely different third party. And then in 6, the next time Ada is in a game, they don't touch on anything really about her actual character or like who she worked, anything at all. And so that's still to this day just a completely left open mystery and like 25 plus year old game franchise.
Yeah, you're right.
Have refused to answer that question. And I really hope that there are some organizations that they've brought up newly in 7 and 8 specifically, and I'm like thinking like maybe they're gonna tie her into this. Maybe like I don't know, like it just like I don't know. I just like as a longtime fan, I'm like, please tell me, please tell me.
Or just give me a hint, just one little hint.
Right? It's like come on.
How do I
What are you looking for?
open my inventory?
Oh, triangle. Nice. I know, that thing's awesome. Like, that's gotta be, like, one of the greatest, like, bonus weapons in the game. Especially for something that, like, is tonally, like, so not anything like Star Wars, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, was it? I think 4 was 4 the first one that had like a crazy cool like bonus weapon, because they had like if you beat the game on like the hardest difficulty and did whatever, turn in a circle 3 times, you would unlock the Las Plagas like. It was like a laser cannon that it was supposed to be, because there's the surgical machine that Leon uses to like, get it out of himself, right?
Yeah.
It's like that laser machine, but in the form of a gun. So it would just target the parasites in all the enemies' bodies and just vaporize them instantly.
Oh,
that
God.
was like that was like the ultimate like weapon you could get in 4 if you beat the game enough times on the highest difficulty. And then I know in 7 you can get like a circular saw that like maybe like if you beat the game in like under 2 hours, and you get kind of a open your inventory, click on the ring, move around a little bit and try to center there you go. All right, and now go up to the door.
Oh no, ew.
Which is totally a reference to Resident Evil 4 as well, because the Torres Mendez boss fight with a dude that he's in the giant coat, right? He's like 10 feet tall, and then you burn him in the barn, and his coat comes off, and he's got the crazy centipede body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy. You get his eye, which is a fucking key for like the next area. That was totally a 4 reference there too.
I haven't cut open a fan in a while.
You can't hurt her. You can temporarily like fight her off. But your best option is just to try and break her.
Oh my goodness.
Toward into the door that you just opened too. That's where I like the left. And then left. This is one of those like almost nemesis moments where you just have to get away.
Oh, okay.
And Lady Dump Truck Ass is in particular a nemesis or a Mr. X type thing where you can't hurt her just like normal. That she doesn't bug you too much. Oh God, really? You're gonna throw that pun in there?
Boo.
I didn't read all of that. The D stands for dump truck ass. I thought it stood for damn. Lady Double D, that's right. Capcom knew what it was doing.
Oh,
with her character.
hands down.
Because she is very she has a very sexualized.
Oh yeah,
thing
no,
going on.
they definitely knew the fandom the fandom was gonna do.
Well, there was a press release that was just her shoe size at one point.
Jesus Christ!
Like there were more foot fetishists out there than I thought there were. Like looking at the internet's reaction to that game.
I'm not surprised, honestly.
You know, I do believe that there is a decent amount of people that just thought the meme was funny, too. That were just like, haha, you know, Lady D, step on me, kind of thing.
Nope.
Hey, my dude, it's 3 in the morning. Oh, it's 3 in the morning over there? You gotta sleep. Been great hanging. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for the raid, Orton.
Yeah,
Good to have you here.
Hope I figured it out with no one's help.
I'm gonna totally stop giving advice from this from this point forward unless you ask.
Come on. There we go.
Nice.
Cool. Oh hey.
I love the fucking sculptures. And if you remember, this is totally the area that you were in the demo. But there were no enemies like to fight or anything.
There we go.
You want a room like this? Of course, I'm not even surprised. That's I mean, why? Who wouldn't want to have a torture dungeon, right? I mean, like, totally normal thing. Everybody should have one in their house.
Hot.
Oh, the mirror with the armies. Okay, not the torture dungeon. Although, maybe that too. We'll see. But that fucking mural of all the soldiers is pretty goddamn cool. I knew you were gonna say that. Lust appetite.
Whoa! It was a sneeze. I sneezed.
The lightsaber is pretty awesome. Like, again, it still amazes me that they actually put that in this game.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't, and that wasn't leaked out at all before.
Really?
Before the game came out. Like, that was a legitimate surprise that was in here.
I'm genuinely surprised that no one leaked it.
Well, granted, the whole game actually was mostly
I don't
a surprise.
like this.
Basically.
Fuck you.
So you got, like, slightly more zombie-like, kind of like... And L1 is your guard, too, which does block most damage, honestly. Even though it's just your hands and it doesn't actually make sense that it would block all that damage. It does. Again, these hands are just like, you know... Like, his hands have like, a humiliation fetish, I think. You can also, if they like are raising their weapon to attack you, you can shoot the weapon or out of their hands, like in 4.
Oh, you can.
If you can hit the weapon, you can totally like knock it out of their hand. Again, which is I guess it was in 5, but maybe that was in 6 too. But I wish more Jedi would just whip out a shot when things get rough.
Wait, what did it say?
He said, I wish more Jedi would just whip out a shotty when things get rough. I wish so too. I want a lot more than I get from Star Wars. So, like, I really want to see some Star Wars do something cool in the original, and I really do not feel like we've gotten that in a long time. Jar Jar Binks Disney Plus. They better fucking not. Better fucking. You better not have just made that happen.
Just breathed it into reality.
Yeah, like just fucking don't know. Take that thought back. I don't know. I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it. Ah!
Son of a bitch!
And if you run out of healing, you... Yep, the health leeching. I love that. That's so
there we
good.
go. See, I'm fine.
The lightsaber was kind of clunky to use on hard difficulty. I felt like it was kind of pointless. Like the enemies they were too tough to take out with it properly. But like I think normal, and I'd be willing to play. Ooh, there's another one.
No,
That's not even the same one.
no. Haha.
A healthy man's blood. I can't wait.
Yeah. Come fluid. Let me take it, damn it.
Where are you going, little one?
No, thank you.
Bullets cannot harm.
But sunlight will.
It's actually the cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You stupid!
They're not vampires in a traditional sense, right? They're the Resident Evil kind of weird. Now
Ow.
you can hurt her.
Oh, now I can.
Now because she's been exposed, now you can hurt her.
Your teeth at us!
You actually got her already. The infinite ammo weapons from later, and from like also being weapons from later in the game too, is going to make some of the fights, like the boss fights, a lot easier. But and that wasn't even like a full boss; that was more of a mini boss. But still, you already took out a whole one of the 4 like big things in this area.
Ooh, neat. I got a bottle of wine. We about to get crunk. Give me something good. Ooh, I'll take it.
And that, I remember what effect to do. Nice.
It's a compensator.
Nice. Oh, I think you have one. Did you say they put out a new, another new version of Myst recently?
Really?
It's like the graphics look like good.
Huh.
Too. Like it's like full 3D, right? Like you can truly walk around in real time. Not
Right
like
on.
loaded screens of the original. And it looks really good. Like it's a very good looking game. Actually, it came out a couple of years ago, and it was meant to be. It came out for VR specifically, and they like just I think what this last month, near the end of the month, ported it to the Xbox. But
Interesting. How's it doing so far?
I've expanded
you
my
know, I feel
services.
like the
Please,
fan base
come
for
take
this
a look.
is relatively small. I mean, it must be big enough for them to keep
I was just
remaking it.
thinking of ways
Because
to pass
this is
the
like the
time.
6th version I think they've like put out at this point.
Mm.
But yeah, I think it's sold pretty well. At least well enough for a second like platform to want to acquire it later on after it's released. So like good enough for that at least. You know,
I've procured
really
some new
looking
items
forward
for you,
to.
Mr. Winters.
We could afford the brain work, please.
I hope this one makes itself.
Nice. That just like dangles from the gun, I think. Not like little football guy. And you know what? That was one of the little. You could just find those and destroy them in 7. That was like the little like just random
You don't
destructible
quite
thing.
have the cash on hand. Good day then.
I think there's a save in there too.
This one?
Yeah. But hey, that Sony showcase is tomorrow, about 3 p.m.
I'll be working then.
I
But...
will too. But when I do get done, that is what I'm going to come do.
What are you most excited for?
Well, we don't know for sure what's going to be there. It's been very strongly implied that Alan Wake Remastered's debut was supposed to be that, and it got leaked out early, so they like went ahead and confirmed it. But like they only confirmed it with a single like logo image, right? They didn't like go, all right, and now announcing here's the trailer. Well, you know, they didn't do any of that. So I think that's probably still the case that that's going to be announced.
Okay.
I honestly, the way that this is like best case scenario, right? This is what would have me the most hyped about it, would be the announcement is Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake Remastered on multi-platform consoles is like a bonus to say, hey, we're doing a new game. This game came out forever ago, and hey, to catch
same
up
thing
with
as like
everyone.
Resident Evil did.
Totally.
Okay, I can see that.
I think they'll announce, because here's the thing. Not a while ago, the official announcement that Remedy made was that they were making 2 games that for the PC versions will be on like the Epic Game Store, right? Epic Games is how they fund them. And this 2 project, it was 2 games set in the same IP. They didn't say anything else about them, but they were set in the same IP.
No!
Shit, I'm trying to remember where you're supposed to go.
Well, I hope it's up this way. Something tells me it's not.
Oh, no, you know what? You're supposed to go, because now you have the courtyard key, so you can get outside, downstairs. Yeah, you're supposed to go,
Well, I'm trapped.
You, I think, will be able to outmaneuver. You can't shoot.
Stop! I don't want this.
You can hit her a little bit, and she'll like temporarily kind of leave you alone, but it doesn't last all super long. But like, if you have to like, you know, try and get her off your ass for a minute.
Really?
Yeah. No. To the. Well, you can go the same way. So turn left.
This way?
Go through. Go down this hall. Go up the stairs, or door and then stairs. Take a left right here. All right, now turn. Go to the door at the other end of the room.
This one?
Yep. And then the next door in this room. That's the courtyard key door. The courtyard door. And she can't follow you outside because of the cold. So you're safe out here. I totally lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
That's a great question.
What was that? Oh, I know. I'm sorry. You said.
You were saying Alan Wake 2 for
Alan Wake
the
2.
press conference tomorrow for the PSN.
Okay, so I definitely think Alan Wake 2 with Alan Wake Remastered as like a bonus announcement for that, attached to that. I think we see the first footage of the next God of War. Because that was announced a while back with the title card 2021. And then it was pushed back to 2022. We've yet to see anything. We haven't seen anything of God of War yet. So the fact that it at one point was supposed to come out this year, that tells me that they're at least somewhat far along in production.
Yeah.
Right? They're not they probably have something to show soon, or like about right now. I think we see that. I read some what I thought were very interesting rumors about maybe a new Infamous game. And I don't know if that's like from the original developer or if that's supposed to be like maybe it's a new studio kind of giving a shot at it because I would imagine that Sucker Punch, right, the studio originally behind Infamous, I would think that they're working on the early days of a Ghost of Tsushima sequel. I would think that that's what they were doing, but I mean, maybe they take a break and they do a different game first and come back to it. Or it's a remake of the first one. Because that's 2007. Like, that's the first game I owned on the PlayStation 3, actually. I remember I found it had just come out, right? And I literally had, worked my, first job at 14, right? And, just enough to buy a PlayStation 3 with my own money. And the system, I hadn't even gotten the PS3 yet, but I went into Half Price Books, and they just happened to have Infamous, brand new copy for half price.
Hell yeah.
And I bought it a couple of weeks before I even had the console. So I have some nostalgia for that game. And the first game first game on the PS3, and the PS3 was the first console I bought with my own money. So it was I don't know. It felt like a really big deal at the time. Maybe not so much now, but but
hey, no, that's
time into that
still
game.
a milestone.
So I'm if they did a remake though of that game, I'd be pretty excited. You know what I want to see though?
What?
They brought Ratchet and Clank back, right?
Yeah.
Where's the Sly Cooper at?
Very good point.
I'd like to see a new Sly. Jack and Daxter, I was never as into of PlayStation's more cartoony, family-friendly kind of mascot characters. I was never as into Jack and Daxter, but I really think that Sly Cooper, I think, deserves a revival of some kind. It's been too long. You know, Ratchet and Clank skipped out the entire PlayStation 4 console generation.
It did, yeah, you're right.
The one exception is there was in the within the first year of the PS4, there was that animated Ratchet and Clank movie, and they had a game that was a tie into that was not supposed to be all that great, because it was kind of a remake of the first game and then also a tie-in to the movie at the same time.
Yeah.
It was just a weird game. It was kind of a weird one. But the Rift Apart was great, right? Rift Apart was awesome. I really enjoyed that. That had some very cool stuff in it. But I don't know. Well, this is the house bleaching colors, and the damage color does it does kill them a lot faster. Granted, I will still say it's not the most effective thing in the game. It's, that was one hit. But on normal, I would honestly do a whole playthrough on easy where I literally use nothing but the lightsaber on easy mode. I think that would be. I think that would be very entertaining, actually. Oh. Oh, so yeah, you got him in like 2 hits with the red.
Yeah.
You guys really like just like hiding in the water. Do you remember the first time you had an enemy do the play dead thing on you? And like how nowadays in horror games it's such a like almost like
A trope, yeah.
Well, like it was Dead Space. Yeah,
that was like the cutting edge thing back then.
Well, it was you like rounded a corner and there was a save station right next to the body too. So like you really thought you were safe because of the save station being right there.
Lies and slander.
Once you knew that that could happen, it was pretty easy to tell which ones were going to do it and which ones weren't. But that very first time was a pretty great scare in a video game.
Oh, amazing.
I also love how in the second one, because the whole first game, right, you never get ever attacked in an elevator. And in the second game, like relatively early on, they have you just get fucking swarmed by
jumped
in an elevator.
Very first elevator, yeah.
Had a grand time throwing a squeaky rat to it and after motion to wake them up when they play again. That's great. You know, Dead Space 2 is another game that has a really fucking cool, really hard to unlock weapon in it. Do you know about that one?
No, I don't.
2? If you beat the game on the hardest difficulty, you unlock, with infinite ammo, a foam finger gun. And instead of making any sound effects, Isaac goes pew, 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 pew when he shoots it. And it's like super powerful. It like blasts the necromorphs into pieces. But it is straight up a foam finger gun. Oh, the poor rat. They're not going out now. Oh, so you let me know how long you want to do this for. I'm good to go for a while. I don't work early tomorrow, so we could do this for quite a bit of time probably still. But it's totally up to you how long you want to.
Right on. I'm getting a little tired.
Yeah?
Probably one more boss and then call it.
Cool. Just pointing that ass right at the camera.
Oh yeah, no. They completely know what they're doing.
I saw somebody photoshopped Sam Neill from Jurassic Park, like happily, like leaning on, listening to the dinosaur breathing. It was just him, like,
just deep breathing.
No, Mother Miranda. Yes, of course, I understand the importance of the ceremony. I won't let you down.
Honestly, I think after this cutscene, we've basically seen everything that was shown. The vast majority of
Hell with
the
the ceremony! That man will pay for what he's done.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
No, she 100% her DNA is definitely in shot.
Rose, where are you?
Yay, if Bayonetta could be in Smash Bros., Lady D could be in Smash Bros. Shit, honestly, why not? Hot Lady D on Bayonetta. Yeah, think about this. You know how like Bayonetta's like super crazy tall?
Yeah.
Lady Dimitrescu is like 4 feet taller than her.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's how big this character design is. She's literally like 9.5 feet tall.
Where the fuck am I supposed to go?
Here, check this out. Stay in this room. Back.
Oh, hey.
And then that's for that door.
Oh, hey!
Yeah, look at that. The way she has
All
to
this
crunch
for a
down to
child
put through the
who
doorway.
Here.
What the hell do...
You ungrateful, selfish wretch! You come into my house! You lay your
Welcome
filthy
to
man
my
hands
house.
on my daughters!
Ethan just has
And
a
now
giant
you even
smile on
try
his
to
face the
steal
whole time.
property! How dare
You just see his hand kind of just like reach out forward.
Right? Yeah, he's just trying to
Yeah.
her. She's killing him.
and I will break you!
Go ahead, do your worst.
Oh, also, Bayonetta and Nemesis are about the same height, which means that this
What?
character is also about 4 feet taller than Nemesis.
This is holy shit.
Yeah. That's how fucking big she is. Nemesis would look short compared to her.
Jesus Christ.
You know, there's only one more character being added to the current Smash game.
Really?
We're on to the last one.
Wow. What do you think it's gonna be?
I don't know. My thing is, I keep saying they could give me anyone, and I think I'd be happy with it because, like, they've done characters from games I do not care about, and I probably will never play. And I like that. I still end up liking them in Smash because
Really?
they just designed them so well. Like the Minecraft dude they put in, and I fucking love the way he plays. I'm never going to play Minecraft because it's not a game I have any interest in. But like, he is a great character in Smash. The bear from Condemned 2, that'd be hilarious.
Oh!
Like I'd let you
You got some Freddy Krueger claws.
Holy shit.
sliced to
What kind of Edward Scissorhands?
before you ever see
Demetrescu Scissorhands?
And it is both hands too. Alright, your goal here is to kind of circle around her and go back and pick up your hand.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
This is open slow, so you're probably gonna have to like run around her a little bit.
I don't even know which way she's going.
Oh. Oh, hey, it opens. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Oh, and then there you go.
Okay, bye.
running will get you nowhere!
Alright, so now...
Oh, it's getting me
kind of like
away from you.
She's going to be stalking this whole map, kind of, in real time.
Oh, jeez.
So you're going to be able to potentially just get to run into her, and you're going to hear footsteps in the background, right, if she's in, like, the room next to you, and pull that Mr. X type thing.
No.
Yep. You're pretty close to the main hall with the save point.
Screw this castle.
There's also a door, I think, in the courtyard you can open up now that you couldn't before. Upskirt.
You can't see it, chat, but I'm shaking my head.
We got body cams, I'm just kidding. They're gross, I agree. Caps with the blood. But yeah, like, okay, 7, right? They came up with 7, 8, and 9 of this trilogy all at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 7, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, A Little Evil Dead, Hills Have Eyes, right?
Yeah.
This one, fucking Bram Stoker's Dracula, gothic shit all over the
See you
place.
safe. How worth it?
If they're going to I feel like they're probably going to do something super different again in
So
9. Like
sorry
pick like
it
a
turned
weird
out that way.
subgenre to go after, you
You'll
know?
find your way to her once you're out of this castle. Do you have need of anything for the road ahead?
I'm just
Welcome,
like, what
welcome. You're
what
sure
weird
to
kind of like
find something new.
tropes and like subgenres could they
Welcome.
even do next? Like, and they'll throw multiple ones together, right? Like so, like I don't know. That's something I'm just very very curious about. Odds are though, it's going to be a while before we see what 9 looks like because I'm pretty sure 4 is going to come out. The remake of 4 will probably be sometime in 2022. Think about that. Resident Evil 7, 2017. 2 remake, 2019. 3 remake, 2020. Village,
What are you
2021.
buying? Just something an old friend of mine used to say.
Since
Hard
2017,
man's back
2018 was the
but to
only
think
year
you want to pile
that
on
there
even
hasn't been a new Resident Evil game out. And they've actually consistently been good for that long, which I don't think had ever happened in the Resident Evil games before. Right?
Very
like,
true, yeah.
I think like
Securing
maybe 1,
goods
2,
is
3,
more
Code Veronica,
important than
and 4,
anything.
but Code Veronica had some problems.
Oh yeah.
So like I wouldn't even quite count that as being of consistent quality. So it was like 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica
Thank you
breaks
for
it,
your
and 4, and I don't like 5 or 6, but then 7, 2 remake, 3 remake, Village, 4 remake next, then 9. Because at one point, those were all in development simultaneously.
Really?
2 remake, 3 remake, Village, 4 remake, and 9. As of like 2019, when the 2 remake was like coming out, all of those were in development at the same time.
I had no idea.
Different teams and like shared resources, but that's the thing, right? That's what I was saying earlier about how like with Resident Evil 3, it was very easy to put that game together because you were able to just take assets that they'd already built for 2. They happened in Raccoon City, right? It was so simple for them to just take a bunch of stuff from that 2 remake and just port it over to the 3 remake. I think the same is going to be said for Resident Evil Village, the European village setting. Now I know that this is like Romania and 4 is Spain, but I still think that a lot of the assets, right, just the housing and the general kind of style of the furnishing in the outdoor environments, I think a lot of that stuff is going to just be reused in the 4 remake. And that might be part of why we get a relatively soon or relatively quick turnaround time for some of these Resident Evil games, is because they literally are making like half of the stuff for the next game in each one. But I think that's going to call it a night.
Yeah, that.
Well, thank you for joining us, Tyler. It was good to have you back over.
No, my pleasure. I can't wait to do this again. It's always super fun to talk about anything while playing anything with you, Sage.
Oh yeah. I figured let's just do a full playthrough of this, right?
Yeah, no, let's definitely do it.
And then we'll pick maybe Detroit's the next one.
Oh yes.
Maybe that's the next one. But yeah, Horton, thank you for the raid again. I know you're not there anymore, but thanks for hanging out. Ulysses, thanks for hanging out. Check out @RM for Immaturity on Twitter. Follow that. Twitch's notification system is shit. So follow the Twitter, then you might actually get notified when we're going live. And who will be doing like what and stuff, because I swear like half the time people just don't get the notification.
Yeah.
And then Rated M for Immaturity on YouTube, it has a backlog of everything. That's all I have to plug. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.